Hello, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to continue our most recent conversation today. And the last video to appear was entitled True Empathy. So we're going to continue in this conversation along that exact theme. If you would like a bit of backdrop and context for that, I do invite you to check out the previous, most recent video, True Empathy. And I also invite you to read chapter 16, section 1, part 1 of the text of A Course in Miracles, which is entitled True Empathy. So the previous conversation and this one are taken from that section. The point of, well, focus is the fact that we're invited to give our capacity, our ability to empathize to the Holy Spirit. Give it to Him. Give it to Him. We have been listening for far too long to the ego. The ego takes everything that we're able to do, all of our abilities, all of our capacities that could be used in the service of healing the mind. The ego takes them and uses them to do the exact opposite, to keep healing as far away from the mind as possible. Empathy is a classic example of that. Under the tutelage, the guidance of the ego, which is no guidance at all, we make someone else's suffering real, then join in it, and we sit there together and wallow and commiserate. It weakens all. The Holy Spirit, not surprisingly, takes it and uses it quite differently to strengthen. How does he do that? Well, let's just let him do that. That's the gist of it. That's the crux of this, is our getting out of our own way, which you may have heard more than once in multiple spiritual traditions from teachers all over this spinning ball of rock, because it's what we're all doing. No matter what the tradition, it is ultimately about setting the ego aside. How do we do that? We decide to, yeah, just that. We allow the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher, to run the show. We give our ability to empathize, to forgive. We give all of our relationships over to Him for His purposes. Healing the mind. How does He accomplish this? He knows. Let's just let Him do it. And it is precisely this that we find so impossibly hard. We're not even certain that He's really going to do His part at all. And this actually is because we've never fully done ours. So, of course, having never fully done our part, we're not sure anyone else or anything else is going to do theirs. We don't trust because we've never fully done our part. We've left it incomplete, half-assed, if you want to put it that way. We only go part of the way, which is why we still appear to be here. Yet here you are with the powerful opportunity to keep it right here, and stay tuned for messages from your inner teacher. It's a very fortunate situation. It really is. When you look at all of the people that appear to inhabit Spinning Ball of Rock, 8 billion and counting, there appear to be so many who aren't even interested in spirituality at all. And among those that are interested in spirituality, there are comparatively few who are interested in this little nugget called A Course in Miracles. So you're here. I invite you to listen to your inner teacher and do as suggested. Give him your capacity to empathize. We're reluctant and hesitant, all of us, to do this because we've never fully done our part. What is that? Step aside, give it over to the Holy Spirit, and get out of the way. Watch him do his thing. Watch it do its thing, if you prefer. We give our entire experience over to our inner teacher. Step to the side, relax, and trust. Give it all over to your inner teacher. Step aside, relax, and trust. Let healing be done through you. Now, to other people, it may look like you're doing it. It looks like I'm doing it. This is nothing. This is absolutely, literally nothing. It's an assemblage of electronic dots that someone named pixels, whatever that even means. And it looks like a dude from Arizona. I mean, you can't get much more ordinary and, well, yeah, more ordinary and common than that. What's uncommon is the message. In fact, you have heard the call to awaken, which is from our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, of course. It's from him, it's from it. And it goes out to all of us all the time, 24/7, 365, all of the time. It is constant. The question at any one moment is, are we listening? And at some point, more than once, for sure, you have been. Thank you. Keep doing it. Yeah. We're invited to give it all over to him. Step aside, do not interfere, and relax and trust. And it is this that we find so incredibly, horrifically, threateningly, impossibly difficult. It is not impossible. We have only to choose to do it. So we get what looks like an insane amount of repetition of pixelated image on your screen saying the same things, the exact same things over and over again. Why? Because A Course in Miracles says them over and over again. This series of videos is about A Course in Miracles, not someone's interpretation of it, rather what it says and what the Holy Spirit means. So, inevitably, there's something in this conversation, all of them, that will hit home for you. This may feel uncomfortable at first. That is perfectly normal, by the way. If you feel challenged or threatened, understand it is the ego that is threatened. Any resistance that we encounter, and we encounter a lot, honestly, a lot of it, it's the ego resisting. We have followed it as our teacher far too long. We have one other option. the Holy Spirit. So we're invited to choose the Holy Spirit. And this stepping aside and learning to relax and trust our inner teacher's guidance is so critical. We're not the teacher here. This is not the teacher here. I mean, it certainly looks like it. That's an appearance. The Holy Spirit is the teacher. We're the learners. He's the teacher. Let's learn. Life is a big, giant learning laboratory. It is. It's a learning lab on a platter, a gift. A gift you could choose to see it that way. Anything not wholly joyous is, in fact, an opportunity to forgive. And at any moment, you're invited to call on your inner teacher for guidance, for assistance. He will answer instantly. Are we listening? That's our question, moment to moment. So we go to work in our mind on becoming aware of these opportunities, present moment awareness. That's why it's a thing in world spirituality. Now, have you ever wondered why? When I studied Buddhism in the 1990s and 2000s, which was quite extensive during that period of time in this lifetime, I would often find myself wondering why so much calm abiding? Why shamatha? Why such meditation? Why such a focus? Well, the answer is we need present moment awareness to change our mind. We do. We need it to be able to recognize that we're carried off in our habitual patterns of judgment, hatred, rage, fear, depression, sadness, frustration, and blame when we're doing life, as we call it here on this wobbling, spinning ball of rock that we take to be home sweet home. As we do this, we get carried away. Spiritual practice is our returning to this awareness that, oh, I'm carried off. Let me forgive this. Let me appeal to my inner teacher for guidance and support and help right now. Let me give this meeting to the Holy Spirit. Let me give my relationship to the Holy Spirit. Let me give this 20 to 25-minute segment on YouTube to the Holy Spirit. For example, things like that. And we just we give it over to him. We step aside. We let love be just as it is. We let peace be just as it is. There's nothing we have to do other than give it over to our inner teacher and let him go down. Just that. That is our part. We will be instructed as to what to do. We will be instructed as to what to say, where to go, if anywhere. And we'll be instructed as to the people we're to speak with, deal with, work with, address, forgive. We will be told. We're invited to let peace be, to let love be, to let truth be just as it is, and not attempt to change it. It is changeless. It cannot be changed. Let's give up our futile efforts to change it. We want to tell God what to do? Unnecessary. We simply let truth be just as it is. A very powerful prayer, an extraordinarily powerful prayer. One you might wish to say when you remember to do it is, help me allow truth to be just as it is. Help me to get out of my own way. Holy Spirit, I give you this meeting. I give you this relationship. I give it over to you. Please guide me. Let me allow truth to be just as it is. Powerful, powerful stuff. I invite you to try it. So the message on this video is, of course, and not surprisingly in the least, exactly the same as the last message. Oh my God. And the next video is going to have the exact same message. And trust. Let your inner teacher run the show. And now I will say something before we wrap up here that I frequently say. It needs to be addressed because we fear so greatly to do this. All fear is of the ego. All resistance that we experience on the spiritual path, which is considerable, that's putting it mildly, huh? Yeah, well, it's of the ego. No question about it. We experience this all of the time. We're afraid to give everything over to the Holy Spirit because we've never fully done our part. We could choose to fully do our part. Now, in this state of being extraordinarily resistant to give everything over to your inner teacher, understand that what we're referring to as our inner teacher, emphasis on inner, the Holy Spirit, call it whatever you want to call it. Jesus, your guide or guides you, may call it by multiple names if you so wish. Those are simply names. Call it your council, your board of directors, your casting crew, your team, whatever you call it. It's part of your mind. It's part of our mind. There is one mind. Why? There is only perfect oneness, which we all do know. We don't have to choose to acknowledge it, of course. But you'll hear that again. You'll hear it from me if you keep tuning in, which of course I invite you to do. And you'll hear it from others. Understand that they appear to be others. That's an appearance. This course is constantly teaching us to look past the appearance to what it refers to as the content, the essence, the heart of the matter, what really is. Perfect oneness. We're all a part of this. No exceptions. So no matter how badly you may feel today, you are part of perfect oneness. You are the Son of God. The extension of God, like extends like, yeah, the thought of God. And ideas leave not their source. Yes, capital S. That verbal math, yeah, do it. I invite you to go there. We're so hesitant and afraid to do it. Let's do that today. All right, so I thank you as always for joining me and for tuning in. The subscription prompt here is in the corner of your screen. It's that arrow. Click it and you'll be invited to join us. It's a growing international community and several videos appear each week. Also, if you have specific questions, you are more than welcome to go ahead and ask them. I frequently check this comment thread on YouTube, so I will see your specific question if you have it, and I will either answer it right there in the comment thread, and if it's longer than just a couple of sentences, we'll do a whole video or more on it. We do this frequently, and it's a very beautiful thing because I'm very interested in what's coming up for you live. So the Holy Spirit has a lot to say about what's coming up for you live. For sure. Of course he does. Yeah, so all questions are welcome. Thank you for joining me, and I will speak to you all very soon.